1. No. No. We're here for Green Army Le Mans, and it's a good start by Joseph Singh in the Irn-Bru Porsche ahead of Max Clark in the Bilstein BMW number 150. As the Ferrari behind that, LR Johnny as well. We don't have Ashley Kurtz with us today, but we have Max going straight over the gravel, taking Joseph Singh with him. The Irn-Bru car going wide, and now the Ferrari of LR Johnny gets ahead. Yeah, we know Green Army. We don't have Ashley Curtis here today, as he doesn't have Forza Motorsport. But we head through this corner, and quick disclaimer: this race was done ages ago, but I've just not done a video on it. Yeah, we go through. Oh, just before Tetra Rouge, Joseph Singh getting taken off there by the 150 car, the BMW taking off the Porsche. But yeah, so we're here for a GT2 race today, but we're heading down the Mulsanne straight. And there's contact, and I think Max nearly had a spin there, as Joseph Singh in the Irn-Bru Porsche finally gets through on Max Clark, the Green Army F2 champion from Season 1, way back when in F1 23. But here in Forza Motorsport, in the first race of Green Army Le Mans, Joseph Singh in second place, ahead of Max, who forgets there's a chicane and goes flying off and hits Joe. I'm not too sure what's happened there. Off wide goes Joe, and Joe has suspension damage on the front right where Max hit there. And Max, look at Max, he's going slowly, he's got engine damage. He must have gone flying off into that wall. Absolute heartbreak for Max. But now, LR Johnny is in the lead. The Ferrari, who I found in a lobby earlier on, and I invited him from there. But he's in the 62 Risi Competizione Ferrari. But he's ahead of the number 30 Irn-Bru car Joe, who suffered now from that incident with Max. But he heads now out of that corner, down into one of the tightest corners on the track here, known as Mulsanne Corner, just after the Mulsanne Straight, as Joe actually catching up to the Risi Competizione Ferrari. He's got a lot of straight line speed in that Porsche, despite the suspension damage, but that Ferrari does look quick in the corner, so I reckon the Ferrari in the corners has good downforce, but that means it's creating drag in the straight. So Joe now taking the lead ahead of the Irn-Bru Porsche. Then comes the Risi Competizione Ferrari. Then comes Max in the BMW, who's struggling that. He's crawling back to the pits, and that is not a pace that Max would like to be going at, I must say. But yeah, we're going to go here with LR Johnny, who is sliding through into Indianapolis with a bit of a lockout, but he is going to catch up to Joe a lot in this section in on the exit of Indianapolis into what's this corner called? Is it Avalanche? No, it's not. It's called something else. I'll remember it later. We head now down to the Porsche curves. Alvarage, that's what it's called. As we head now down to the Porsche curves, and Joe in the Porsche is going to struggle here because of that suspension damage. He's going to be understeering, so keep an eye on that Ferrari, and let's see if he can actually get past the Porsche here. As he goes to the inside of the Irn-Bru Porsche, and the Ferrari taking the lead ahead of the Irn-Bru Porsche. Let's hope that the Irn-Bru Porsche can stay with the Ferrari. But this GT race really hotting up, as off wide there's Joe over the curbs here at Le Mans. But the Porsche, this is GTE, can't remember, so they're quite accustomed to Le Mans. They head through the Ford chicane. So we have Joe here heading through. He's taking this chicane very well. He's actually going to catch up a lot to LR Johnny on the exit here, and Johnny's going to be under pressure here as he heads onto the end part of the Porsche curve. As he heads up through the first corner on the outside, Joseph Singh takes the lead ahead of LR Johnny. Great move, although Joe goes wide, so that's going to put him on the inside, heading into Dunlop Corner. He locks up, and around the outside goes the Ferrari. Great move by the Risi Competizione car. The number 62 ahead of the number 30 entry. But Max, I think Max in the Bilstein 150 car, the yellow and blue car that went off the first chicane after forgetting it existed. He's currently crawling back to the pits. He's just heading out of Alvarage, heading down into the Porsche curves. Heading out of Tetra Rouge with Joe, goes wide in the Porsche with that suspension damage, but he's heading down the straight now. And the Rizzi Competizione Ferrari is going to be the victim to the Porsche's great straight line speed. As side by side and ahead of the 62 car goes the number 30 Irn-Bru. The orange and blue car gets ahead of the red, but down the inside goes the red Ferrari. Great move under braking. Last of the late breakers for the 62 Ferrari. I think he caught Joe out there. It's a really bold dive. Great move by the 62 car, who's ahead of the Irn-Bru car, but the number 30 gets back in front with the straight line speed, but now he has to worry about if the Rizzi Competizione is just going to fly around the outside of him under braking. So heading down into the chicane. Under braking, the Rizzi Competizione catching up, Joe locking up the front left tyre, and the Rizzi Competizione car, the Ferrari, as Max is into the pits now. So if we have a look at Max in the Bilstein car, he's currently serving a pit stop. Oh, whoops-a-daisies. So Max in the pits. He's currently going to try and get his car fixed as he goes over the Bugatti circuit into the pits. Meanwhile, on the other end of the track, into Mulsanne corner goes Joseph Singh in the Irn-Bru Porsche ahead of LR Johnny. So Johnny versus Singh, as Singh goes wide out of the Mulsanne corner, and the Ferrari trying to stay with him. But yeah, here for the Le Mans 24 minute, so it's a 5-lap race, which will equal 24 minutes of racing at least. So yeah, the Green Army Le Mans 24 minutes here on Forza Motorsport with Joseph Singh. I can't remember when we did this, but I know we've done it ages ago, like maybe even at the beginning of the year. But yeah, I'm recording it now after figuring out the replays and the fact that you can switch drivers live while watching the race. So that's why I'm doing the commentary now, not then. So, but yeah, we have the Ferrari just behind the Porsche of Joe, who obviously branded in Irn-Bru. You'll probably be watching this after Joe's Friday night, Joseph Singh appearing in VFNF, which was the Friday night vendors race that saw Joseph Singh in NASCAR at Indianapolis, and round the outside of the Porsche curves goes LR Johnny, and what a move on the just before karting, though Joseph Singh's going to try and come back at him. The Porsche and the Ferrari battling like animals, heading into the four chicanes as he's not going to make the move on the inside. The Ferrari much braver on the brakes, and the Porsche with that front left suspension damage, remember, but he is setting up the chicane very nicely. They both do that forward chicane very nicely, and as they head onto lap 3, the lights are on, the sun is setting, and Joseph Singh is closing in on LR Johnny to try and take the lead back here in the Le Mans 24 minutes for Green Army. As we head into the chicane, left, then the right, and then out of the Dunlop chicane in the Porsche, and the Rizzi Competizione Ferrari ahead of the Porsche. Porsche obviously winning Le Mans this year in 2025 with Manthey EMA in LMGT3, but also Ferrari up ahead. Oh, and Joe going wide, Joe off just before Tetra Rouge. This is where we had chaos in the real 24-hour race in Le Mans, but here in the 24-minute race for Green Army, Joseph Singh going wide. We head down as, meanwhile, I think Max off at the Mulsanne corner? No, he's not, he's just going out of it. And Max was recently just opened up a new league. It's called Lando Norris WEC in Forza. So expect to see Lando appearing in more Forza videos in the future. But we've only done one Forza video so far, which was the Authentic Forza 16 laps of Daytona. So yeah, we're looking forward to more events. Obviously, I'm doing Vantage leagues as well, so you'll see more Forza on the channel now. We head down into the second of the chicanes on the Mulsanne Straight, as Joseph Singh here on lap 3 trying to catch up to the Ferrari who's ahead of him. Ferrari who won Le Mans with the AF Corsa in hypercar, now going through the chicane here in Green Army GT and leading at the moment, but heading now down the straight. Joe catching up. Is he going to use that straight line speed to the best of his ability? He's on the outside heading into Mulsanne corner, and he gets ahead. The number 30 Irn-Bru Porsche takes the lead back from the Ferrari. The Ferrari trying to get to the inside. Joe covering the inside with like a blanket covering your favourite grandchild. Is now heading down into the Porsche curves. No, not the Porsche curves, down to Indianapolis, should I say. Joseph Singh in the lead in the Irn-Bru Porsche, using that straight line speed and that horsepower and that torque in the Porsche to the best of its ability compared to the dragginess of that Ferrari, who looks like he's got a lot of good aerodynamics for cornering, but in terms of the straights, it does cost him, especially around a track like this. But we head now down into Indianapolis, and Joe, who just did Friday Night Fenders at 2 AM last night at Indianapolis, the actual track, the Brickyard, in NASCAR's on the night before this recording. He's now here in Le Mans in the 24-minute race for Green Army. Yeah, and for people who don't know what Green Army is, I'll give a quick explanation. It's me, Exact Max, and LR Johnny's involved now, but it was originally AJ Curtis, and it was an F2 league, and we've kind of we've done many leagues, as I've done Formula Asphalt, Ashley's done Formula Asphalt, Max has done MCL and LLRs. Into the back of the Porsche goes the Ferrari. We'll come back to that in a moment, but the Ferrari into the back of the Porsche, and the downforce on that Ferrari really helping him out, especially in this section, as he heads now down into the chicanes, the Ford chicane for Joseph Singh and for LR Johnny. Nearly off, but Joe keeps it in a straight line ahead of LR Johnny. He goes down the inside, he makes a move, makes contact with the Porsche stays ahead onto the penultimate lap of this race, but Joe leads the 4th lap here of the Le Mans 24 minutes. 2 more laps to go. He leads the 3rd lap of the Le Mans 24 minutes, should I say, as we head now into the Dunlop chicane, turn 2 and 3 here at Le Mans. And Joe nearly going round in the Irn-Bru Porsche. That was almost an absolutely mad spin, but the Porsche still in front, ahead of the GT Ferrari. Risky Competizione, who runs into the back of the Porsche. The Porsche gets loose, the Ferrari goes onto the grass. That was a messy situation, but desperation creeping in for the man in this red car here, LR Johnny, who's desperate to try and keep the lead this time, but that low downforce from the Porsche really making it a hard task to do, especially in the first 2 sectors. Second sector more especially, as we'll check in with Max here, the Green Army F2 champion from way back when. But yeah, so Green Army, it's an F2 league, but from me, Ash and Max, we all helped to run it together. And since then, the same people from that grid, there was no one who joined it apart from us 3. And the same people who did that league have branched out to do other leagues and other events. And it's kind of just become this little club, I guess, or this little thing that doesn't seem like a lot, but is kind of nice, or it's kind of, I don't know, it's a fun thing. It is just fun. It's not a serious sim racing thing. It's more just like a little fun thing where we just play a game and have a bit of a laugh. And yeah, it's very nice. So yeah, I'm glad to see us branching out into Le Mans and into Forza Motorsport as we go from F2 to Forza Motorsport and to leagues like Formula Asphalt, which is currently hitting record attendance. We went from 3 drivers in Green Army to 14 in Formula Asphalt, and more in other leagues. It's wide for Joe. Joe off at the Mulsanne corner at the worst possible time, because now the Resti Competizione is heading into the high downfall sections ahead of the Porsche. So desperation goes from the Ferrari to the Porsche. And the Ferrari going on the grass. Celebrating a bit too early there, my friend, is Johnny now under pressure from Joe. So Joe goes in the gravel, Johnny goes in the grass. And round the outside of Indianapolis, he's not going to make it work with that suspension damage. So, heading round the Indianapolis corner into Al Virage, which is this little corner here, as the Resti Competizione in the lead ahead of the Ferrari and the Resti car off wide. Joe having a bit of a drift, looking like he's in Tokyo. Heading down into the Porsche curves. Joe to the outside and to the lead at the Porsche curves. Great stuff here by Joe, who takes it away from the number 62 car, the number 30 Iron Brew car, in the lead ahead of the Resti Competizione Ferrari of LR Johnny, making his debut on the channel. He should have made his debut on the channel ages ago, but he never did, due to me not being able to make the video and all sorts of things. But he's on the inside of Joe and he takes it. What a move! He somehow found a gap there and slipped through like a snake through a pothole. Incredible. So the Resti Competizione sneaks into the lead of this race, and he now leads the fourth lap of this race, and we now go to the final lap here in Le Mans, and Joe gets the exit of all exits out of the Ford chicane and takes the lead right back from Johnny. These two are scrapping it out. It's the final lap. The elbows are going to be as out as possible. They're going to be out both the front and the back doors. And, or should I say the left and the right doors, should I say? As meanwhile, we head through the Dunlop chicane. Joe going wide over the curbs at turn 3. But now heading down turn 4, the Resti Competizione going a little bit sideways. The red Ferrari, who's currently in second, as you can see, with the blue arrow pointing at it, and he runs into the back of the blue and orange car and puts him on the grass, heading into Tetra Rouge. Joseph saying wide, and a bump pass there by LR Johnny, and Joseph saying he might have to get used to that if he's going to do more Friday Night Fenders races, as LR Johnny doing a proper NASCAR move there. Little bump pass just on the entry of Tetra Rouge. But is it going to pay off as he heads into the Mulsanne, on the Mulsanne, straight down into the first chicane? The horsepower of that Porsche makes that Ferrari helpless on the straights. But how late can he be on the brakes? Let's see. Into the braking zone. The red lights shine. He's late on the brakes. He's on the inside. He takes it. Joe goes wide. Joseph Singh in the Iron Brew car goes wide. Look. The number 30 car goes wide. And he's now chasing back down the Ferrari down this straight. The Iron Brew car looking to maybe get the lead back here on the final lap. Heading, we're on the halfway mark of the final lap here in the Le Mans 24 minutes, and Joseph Singh has taken the lead back from the red Ferrari of LR Johnny here in the Green Army Le Mans 24 minutes, and over the corner there, that could be a corner cutting penalty for LR Johnny, who now block passes Joe on the second part of the second chicane on the Mulsanne. But now as they head into the Mulsanne corner, Joe goes round the outside of LR Johnny and gets back up into the lead. But LR Johnny's not going to be finished there, because he needs to stay near Joe heading into the Porsche curves, because that's where the Ferrari shines best. But heading into the Mulsanne corner, under braking for Joe, under braking for the Ferrari, into the side of Joe, contact there. But they head now onto the straight. It's a desperate move, but it doesn't pay off. The Ferrari thinking outside the box, but being cartering Joe to the outside of the corner. But it's not gone to any kind of success for him. And in fact, it's actually taken him further back from Joe. So LR Johnny really got to think big now. He's behind Joe. He heads under the Toyota Gazoo Racing bridge. He's really abusing the track limits here. He's really desperate. He's wide. He's in the wall. At Indianapolis, the Ferrari, the number 62, here at Green Army Le Mans, making his debut on the channel, nearly taking the win, but going deeper Indianapolis. And that means to say that Joe could win this race. Yeah, he is, as wide again for the Ferrari. Desperation crept in and tripped up the Ferrari into a mistake, 2 mistakes in fact. That is an absolute tragedy for the red Ferrari, otherwise he would have certainly passed the Iron Brew car through this section. But Joe sliding out through the Porsche curves. This is where he got past on the last lap in a great move on the inside. Joe there sliding there, he nearly spun in the Iron Brew car. He's really struggling with tyre wear and that front suspension damage from lap 1. But Joe limping home in that damaged car. He will be able to take the win here of the Le Mans 24 minutes. For the Porsche, there's 4 corners to go. 1, 2, then 3, then 4. And the Iron Brew Porsche number 30 takes the win of the Green Army GT Le Mans 24 minutes. But don't go anywhere. On this video here, it's the Le Mans 24 minutes, Green Army LMP2 style. We'll see you over there. It's the same drivers, remember, but is it a different result? I ain't spoiling it for you, I must say. Right, that's done.